NIC elections are coming up, and today we know one of the candidates who's running. In November, the terrible trio are all up for re-election: Banducci, McKenzie, and Chair Wagner. This reminds me of the old quip that politicians in diapers should be changed often and for the same reason. Scuttlebutt is that Banducci will not be running for re-election. And don't cheer too quickly. More on that in a moment. I've also heard that Chair Wagner won't be running. Again, these are rumors. McKenzie, yes, we get to see him on the ballot again, and hopefully for the last time in our lives. I don't know the entire slate, and I assume we'll hear about filings for office over the next few weeks, but today, in the Coeur d'Alene Press, current County Commissioner St. Leslie of Duncan, who is also running for re-election to that office, announced she wants to double down and run for NIC trustee as well, filling Todd Banducci's seat. Yes, this is legal, sad to say, and here's what I've heard on the grapevine, all of it rumor. The KCRCC had trouble finding people to run for NIC. And remember, they truly had to scrape the bottom of the barrel to find someone to run against me for last year's city council race. Either no one wants the job, which I doubt, or the KCRCC endorsement has become so odious that anyone seriously running for office would scurry away from them like they just stumbled across an illegal toxic waste dump site in the North County. My opinion is that the goal of rating and vetting is to find candidates loyal to the Central Committee and obedient to its chairman. And Leslie Duncan fits the bill perfectly. In fact, I think a deal is already in the works. From the article, she said she's considered throwing her hat into the ring for about a month, and said Mark Eberlein rejoining the BOCC factored into her decision. Mark Eberlein was rated and vetted and endorsed by the KCRCC earlier this year to replace outgoing County Commissioner Bill Brooks. Eberlein was the commissioner who Brooks defeated 6 years ago, and he pouted and stomped and stormed out, saying that he was better than everyone else and Nanny Boo-Boo will never hear from him ever again. Ta-da! He's back. And thanks to the KCRCC, he's running unopposed this fall, so he'll be seated on the commission, meaning that this group now fully owns the county commissioners. Back to the article. Because he, Eberlein, has already been a commissioner, that's going to free up a lot of time, Duncan said on Monday. Reading between the tea leaves, I believe that a deal was made between Duncan and Eberlein to ensure that Mark is elected BOCC chair when he takes office in January. This move is to thwart the third county commissioner, Bruce Matari, and no love is lost between Duncan and Matari. Any behind-the-scenes agreements between Duncan and Eberlein would make sense to keep Bruce out of the chairmanship, which I've heard he wants. In exchange, Duncan gets the KCRCC endorsement, which she already has for county commissioner, but more likely a promise that they won't put anyone up against her. Regardless, it'll be interesting to see how St. Leslie mitigates her desire to rule over NIC with her love for the Idaho Republican Party platform, which calls for defunding higher education. Voters who know that this card is bad for your health should understand that Duncan has, in her political career, demonstrated an adamant dislike of public education in general. Her loyalty is to Brent Regan and the same crowd that caused the mess at North Idaho College, as well as the Community Library Network and our county assessor's office. Do you trust her? I know I don't. So here's the roundup of my predictions. Leslie Duncan will receive the KCRCC endorsement. She's probably already been promised it, as it's my opinion that the rating and vetting process is corrupt and fraudulent. It's corrupt and fraudulent. Mark Eberlein will be elected BOCC chair. But what about Todd Banducci? Sadly, Kootenai County, I don't think we're done with Todd yet. My prediction is that more promises have been made behind the scenes in a stank that makes the Washington, D.C. swamp look tame by comparison. I predict, and this is just my guess, that you will see Ron Mendive resign his state legislative position mid-term. As his resignation creates a vacancy, don't be surprised if the KCRCC, specifically the 5th District Legislative Committee, appoints Todd Banducci to fill the vacancy. This move gives Todd the incumbency so that he can run and be rated and vetted and endorsed for the state legislature as an incumbent in 2026. The nightmare continues.